Think what a great thing it is to be a part of something that is team. The team, the team, the team.
Hi, we're going to cover two things in this video. First, what every player needs. It's actually a very short list that is not provided by Sterling Heights Softball. Shoes and a mitt. Shoes need to be either rubber cleats or turf shoes, which have like tiny little soft rubber spikes. Very soft, very tiny. But my daughter Monica prefers those. They are more comfortable and more flexible. I'll show a picture of those at the end of the video. So please avoid metal cleats and don't rely on just tennis shoes. So rubber cleats, turf shoes. Then a mitt. And I'm going to talk more about mitts in the second half of this video. If your player has a mitt that fits them, and they can do this, open and close it, fingertips to thumb quickly, you're all set, and you probably don't need to watch the remainder of this video. If your player does not have a mitt, or if they have a mitt and they really struggle to close it, maybe they can't even close it all the way, or they close it very slowly, I'd recommend you watch. I'm going to give you tips on either how to select a mitt and how to break in a mitt. Now, when it comes to selecting a mitt, this is just a standard leather mitt. There are mitts available that have a hinge. So instead of going across there, you see that little V-shaped dip. Those are definitely easier to close. The thing is, those are generally youth mitts. I don't know if it's easy to find one in a size that's appropriate for the age group that we're in now. Like, for instance, this is a youth catcher's mitt. I can't even fit my hand inside of it. But a smaller player might be able to. You always want to take your player to try on mitts before you buy one anyway. Now, when it comes to breaking in a mitt, it's not as complex as some people make it out to be. Really, you just need to flex it and bend it a lot. And you can do this, during any kind of idle time you have when you're sitting. It's just a matter of softening it up, softening the mitt itself, and softening the rawhide laces. I do a lot of this. And by a lot, I mean a lot. Several sessions of this. Also, bending it back and forth helps soften it up, helps make it much more pliable and closable. And then the last thing I'll do is kind of like the burrito roll. Back and forth, you roll it up. If you do this over and over and over a period of a couple weeks, you should end up with a mitt that can do this. A lot of people will talk about things to apply to a mitt to soften it up. You will get a lot of conflicting opinions about this. There's really only two things I've heard that I haven't heard disputed as far as being healthy for a mitt. That's pure lanolin or beeswax. And even those, you want to apply sparingly, just a few times a year. Apply it lightly, wipe it off. It will help soften. But you never want to over-apply any sort of cream, liquid, anything, oil, anything that's designed to soften a mitt, because if you over-apply it, apply it too often, it'll soak in and the mitt will get heavy. Glove oil is an inexpensive alternative. You can find it at most sporting goods stores. I even hear that disputed because of the chemicals in it. But if you think the mitt only has like a few years shelf life, glove oil is fine. If you think you might have a forever mitt, I'd recommend either nothing, just bending, or the lanolin or the beeswax. And then finally, last thing, when it comes to size of a mitt, that's not that significant, because if a player can do this, it's probably a good size for them. But for this age group, usually anything between an 11 inch mitt and a 12-inch mitt is good. I definitely wouldn't go below an 11, and going above a 12 for this age group might be a little much. I think, there's a chance they really might have trouble controlling it. But those are my recommendations for a mitt. And in the next video, we'll go into more detail on the wide array of optional equipment you can look into getting your player for this season. See you then.